Whether they were inspired by a word for its meaning or an object such as a piece of fruit, we are breaking down 10 unusual celebrity baby names and their meanings right here on Listed. The following celebs definitely got creative when it came to naming their kids. Let's kick off the list with the most recent unusually named baby, Dream Renee Kardashian. Dream is the first Kardashian girl born since Khloe, and despite Rob and Chyna opting out of the family tradition of giving the Kardashian girls a K name, no one is going to have a hard time remembering their daughter's name. According to name experts, the name Dream most likely means a hope or wish for the future. And since Dream also has a half-brother named King, she won't grow up with the only unusual name in the house. Rob and Chyna had the name Dream for a long time, the source tells People. They named her Dream because they've always said she's a dream come true. Speaking of the Kardashians, next up is Saint West. Kim and Kanye's son was born on December 5th, 2015, and one source explained to E! News that at the time, the couple chose the name Saint because it's akin to calling their birth son, quote, a blessing. It's a fitting name considering Kim had such a difficult time getting pregnant and even more difficult pregnancy. Luckily for her and Kanye, they eventually had their healthy baby boy who was well worth the wait. #blessed. Of course, Saint wasn't the first Kardashian West baby given an unusual name. Up next, Kim and Kanye's first child took over the internet when it was revealed they were naming her North. That's right, Northwest. As for their decision to go with North, Kim explained to GQ, quote, it was a rumor in the press, and we never really considered it seriously at all, but Kanye and I were having lunch right over there at that table about a year ago, and Pharrell came over to us and said, oh my God, are you guys really gonna call your daughter North? That is the best name. I said, no, we're not. That was just a rumor. Kim went on to explain that after Vogue editor Anna Wintour also echoed her approval of the name North, calling it, quote, genius. She and Kanye decided to stick with the name for their first daughter. Next up, Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick make headlines when they decide to name their youngest son Rain, as in rain over a country, not I miss the rain down in Africa. Just, to clarify. Kourtney explained why she chose the name Rain to People magazine, saying, quote, I'm never certain with names until they're born. I actually had the name Rain on our list with Mason. Then with Penelope, I had it on the list and it's spelled R-A-I-N. Once I found out I was having a boy, we just changed the spelling again. Looks like the third time is the charm with unusual names, and it's certainly a fitting one for a member of the reality TV ruling family. Next up, if you listen to Chris Brown's latest album, you'll know that he was inspired by his baby girl's name, Royalty. Royalty is Chris Brown's baby girl with former model Nia Guzman, and though the pair are not a couple, they do share custody of adorable little Royalty. It's not known if Chris was able to give any input on his daughter's name, but some rumors have circulated that Nia gave her little girl such a regal name because she knew she was Chris Brown's daughter, and thus an heir to his R&B fortune and legacy. Next up, Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin made all the headlines when they named their first daughter Apple. Everyone was so surprised to hear that the Oscar-winning Paltrow and Coldplay frontman decided to name their baby girl Apple. Apparently, the couple actually got the idea from one of Chris's bandmates, who also has a child named Apple. And in an interview with Oprah, Paltrow said she liked how it sounded wholesome and clean. Well, we can't argue with that, and at least it's a better name than Goop, right? Next up, after Holly Madison left her Playboy reality show, The Girls Next Door, she went on to become a mommy to a beautiful girl named Rainbow Aurora. Though the name sounds like it came straight out of a fairy tale, according to Holly, she actually named her little girl Rainbow Aurora after a sporty girl she knew and was jealous of in school. It's definitely an unusual one, but you gotta give Holly credit for being able to remind us of someone who used to make her jealous on a daily basis. That's definitely not something I could do. Which is why I'm never naming my kid Jessica. #long story. Next on our list, Pharrell Williams and his wife named their son Rocket Ayer, and surprisingly, it's not because he's a big fan of NASA. Pharrell Williams explained the meaning behind his son's name to Oprah, saying, quote, in the same way that the Indians name their children, like behind a force or an animal or an element, we named him after a man-made machine that was meant to go up, meant to ascend. And metaphorically, it was because of, Stevie Wonder's Rocket Love, Elton John's Rocket Man, and Herbie Hancock's Rocket. Okay, Rocket might actually be like the coolest name for a kid ever, because there's no way Rocket isn't gonna be the most popular guy in high school and, for the rest of his life. And that's the ultimate gift a parent can give a child. Besides, love, I guess. Next on our list, actor Nicolas Cage decided to give his son the super unusual name of Kal-El. Nicolas Cage is obviously a big fan of the Superman comics, as Kal-El is the first name of the Man of Steel. Hopefully the newest Batman vs. Superman movie didn't make him regret that choice. And last but never, ever least, is Beyonce and Jay-Z's adorable but unusually named Blue Ivy. Now, there's been a lot of speculation as to the meaning behind Blue Ivy's name. One theory suggests that Blue Ivy was named after Jay-Z's 2011 album, Blueprint, combined with Beyonce's album from that same year called 4. IV is the number for 4 in Roman numerals. So when you put Blueprint and IV together, you get Blue Ivy. It sounds a little far-fetched, but at the same time, this conspiracy theory starts to make a little sense, especially when you remember 2011 was the year that they conceived their daughter, and the fact that their music is what makes them such a power couple. That theory definitely grows on you, doesn't it? Okay, guys, that's our list. So now it's time for you to let me know which unusual baby name surprised you the most. So sound off in the comments down below, and then after that, click here to check out celebs with weird hidden talents. And be sure to subscribe to Clevver Listed. Thanks so much for watching. I'm your host, Tom Plumley. You guys can find me on the socials, and I'll see you next time.